Hello dear community, and a warm welcome to this new Makita review. Great to have you back with us. Here in front of us, we have them, the two latest multifunction drives from Makita. First, the well-known DUX60, the pure 60-volt multifunction drive, and its sibling, or little brother, the DUX18, the pure 18-volt drive. Alongside these, there's also the latest addition, the 40-volt model, namely the Makita UX01GZ, the 40-volt drive with a grass trimmer attachment, which we'll be taking a detailed look at in today's video. I'd say let's not beat around the bush, you know what this is about, the powerful new 40-volt multifunction drive from Makita. We're here to find out what this new tool has to offer and whether it might even overshadow these other two drives. That's exactly what we'll be exploring together in today's video. Before we begin, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. The current prices for these three drives and their attachments to support my work are listed below in the video description. Thank you very much. Now, let's dive in right after the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to admit, I'm really curious again to see what we can expect from this new Makita cordless tool. So, here in front of us, we have the latest 40-volt multifunction drive from Makita, the UX01GZ, currently equipped with the grass trimmer attachment. The 40-volt series is known for its powerful and durable cordless tools, all powered by a single battery. So, I have pretty high expectations, but we'll get into that later. First, let's start with the packaging and the actual contents of the box. On the box itself, as usual, there's not much to see. Each side has a typical image of the multifunction drive, along with product labeling in multiple languages and references to key features like the BL motor, XPT, or IPX4 certification. But we'll also go over those in more detail later. Let's first see what's actually inside the box. And honestly, who would have guessed? When we take a closer look at the contents of the new UX001, it looks quite similar to the two 18-volt models. It's also worth mentioning that we don't just have the standard DUX version, meaning just the multifunction drive. In front of us, we have the UX001GZ01, which means we're looking at the multifunction drive plus the grass trimmer attachment, in this case, the EM404MP. But it's also perfectly possible to say, well, I don't actually need this grass trimmer attachment because, for instance, I already have the one from the DUX18. In that case, you can purchase the UX001 without the grass trimmer attachment, which saves you around $50 to $60. So, it's really up to each person to decide. With this configuration, there's a black protective cover included for the grass trimmer attachment. Nothing too special here, just sturdy plastic that attaches easily with two screws to the trimmer attachment. Next up, we have this handy little transport bag from Makita, similar to the ones we've seen with other cordless tools. It holds all the small accessories. Let's take a look at what's inside. Here it is, the compact carrying pouch for the 40-volt multifunction drive from Makita. I'll just tip it out, and we'll get an overview of what's included. As you can see, the included accessories are quite minimal, though it definitely covers all the essentials. In this case, we have the two handles for stabilizing and guiding the tool, the string head for attaching to the grass trimmer, and of course, the shoulder strap for the main function drive. Also included is a small bag containing a wrench, two small screws, the mount for the grass trimmer, and a small plastic loop, likely for the grass cutting blade, which is also included in the box. Moving on to the usual paperwork, there's the instruction manual for the multifunction drive and the grass trimmer attachment. In this case, it's for the EM404MP, and last but not least, there are the safety guidelines, warranty terms, and the conformity declaration. On the right side, as you can see, there's a grass cutting blade or 4-tooth impact blade from Makita, which honestly surprised me. I haven't seen a blade like this with any other Makita multifunction drive. The other multifunction drives, the DUX18 and DUX60, don't include a blade like this, which could mean that Makita expects this model to handle a bit more power. But that's pure speculation. We'll see how it performs in the test later on. And finally in the box, the actual multifunction drive, the powerful UX01GZ. And that's it for the contents. I'd say it's actually quite sufficient. There are plenty of small accessories which we'll need to attach to the grass trimmer and the multifunction drive. Very, very simple, and importantly, batteries and chargers are not included. These will need to be purchased separately. Now, let's first assemble the grass trimmer and the handle, and then we'll take a closer look at the multifunction drive. The assembly itself, as mentioned, is really very easy. For the multifunction drive, we just need to attach the main handle and the side guide handle. 2 small screws are included for this purpose. Simply slide both mounts onto the multifunction drive, attach the handle, and then tighten with the 2 hex screws. There's also a small hex key included. Likewise, for the grass trimmer attachment, there are 2 small screws that go into the cover, and the cover attaches smoothly here as well. Finally, all that's left is to attach the string head. This too can be done in just a few minutes using only the provided tools. Start with the small hex key. There's a small slot on the left side of the grass trimmer attachment that allows you to lock the spindle in place. Insert the hex key, lock it, and loosen it with the included wrench. One key point: it has a left-hand thread. To loosen, turn the nut to the right, and to tighten, turn it back to the left. There we go! The string head is now fully assembled and ready for use. Optionally, you can also attach the shoulder strap to the multifunction drive if you prefer. With that, now it's ready for action, and I'd say let's take a closer look at the multifunction drive itself. Here it is, the brand new 40-volt multifunction drive from MAKITA, the UX01. I'm eager to see what this unit will deliver in the upcoming test, but first, let's take a detailed look at the multifunction drive. Let's start with the component that really defines this tool, the battery slot, specifically designed for the 40-volt battery. Starting at the very back of the multifunction drive, you'll notice the robust, large 40-volt battery. Also hard to miss are the prominent red XGT logos, indicating that only 40-volt XGT batteries can be used with this multifunction drive. Standard 18-volt batteries are not compatible with this device. Naturally, with a high-powered device like this, it's advisable to use a larger battery, such as a 40-volt, 4-amp-hour battery. The battery compartment is designed so that the 40-volt battery slides down into the machine from above. This works as smoothly as with other MAKITA tools. There's no need for any latch or similar. The battery clicks securely into place. Additionally, since the 40-volt batteries have a charge level indicator on top, there's no separate indicator on the multifunction drive itself. You can simply check the battery level directly on the battery. And importantly, as it's a 40-volt device, it only requires a single battery, unlike the DUX60, which requires 2. Speaking of weight, the 40-volt multifunction drive weighs a substantial 4,450 grams with the large 40-volt 4-amp-hour battery. Quite a bit, even without any attachment. You need to add the weight of each attachment as well. For extended use, I definitely recommend using the shoulder strap. It's easy to attach, with small hooks at the front, and the drive itself has 2 small loops, one in the back and one at the front, for attaching the strap. Moving to the base of the machine, you'll see a sturdy black metal bracket which serves multiple purposes. It allows for easy storage of the multifunction drive. For instance, you can hang it on a hook, something that's often been an issue with multifunction drives. Where to store them? Hanging wasn't always feasible, but that's no longer a problem. You can easily hang the multifunction drive on a wall, and this bracket also offers protection for the battery. If you accidentally bump the machine, the metal bracket absorbs the impact, keeping the battery safe. Moving on to the heart of the multifunction drive, the motor itself. You can easily tell by the BL logos that this device is equipped with a robust brushless motor designed to power the entire tool with ample strength. Honestly, I'm eager to see how well this performs at real-world applications, but we'll have to wait and see what the tests reveal. We'll also discuss the RPM settings shortly. It's important to note that this tool is IPX4 or XPT certified, providing splash and dust protection. Additionally, it features a motor brake and soft start. handle and controls are worth noting too, as they're very similar to those on the DUX18. This tool has an ergonomic grip, which feels comfortable in terms of both size and shape. There's also extensive rubberization both above and below for enhanced slip resistance. As with the DUX18, key components are highlighted in red. At the top is the lock mechanism, which you press while holding the handle, and underneath is the trigger for RPM control, smooth and responsive with no catching or stiffness. In terms of RPM, the new UX01, like the DUX60, features 3 preset speed levels, allowing you to roughly set the speed in advance. You'll also see a well-organized display unit and a simple control panel, including 2 membrane buttons below, one to activate the device and one for reverse. Above, you have the 3-speed or RPM settings. For reference, the first speed level maxes out at 5,700 RPM, the second at 8,200, and the third at 9,700 RPM. As mentioned, the UX01 also has a motor brake and a soft start, which significantly reduces the deceleration time. And very importantly, just like with other multifunction drives and trimmers, here too, once you release the trigger, the multifunction drive powers off completely and you'll need to reactivate it, which is sometimes a little annoying. Moving slightly forward, you'll find this small loop. The second loop, as mentioned earlier, is located at the rear. This setup allows you to attach a shoulder strap so the tool can be comfortably carried on your shoulder. Given the weight, this is certainly recommended for longer use. Then, here on the machine shaft, you'll see a rubber sleeve that doubles as a grip. And up front, just like with the other multifunction drives, this is the secondary main handle, which you can use to control and stabilize the tool. The second handle is entirely made of plastic like on other multifunction drives and is slightly textured to give a good grip. The round grip design allows you to hold the tool in almost any position, whether using a pole saw or a hedge trimmer attachment. You can grip the drive from the side or above without any issue. It's also worth mentioning that a small slot for the necessary Allen key is built right into the handle, so it's always available for adjustments, whether changing the handle position or switching out the line spool, securely stored for easy access. Finally, at the very front, we have Makita's standard attachment mount. Just like on the DUX18 or DUX60, it's identical, with the black release lever on the right side. Open the latch, press the small red button on top to unlock, and attaching each tool head is incredibly simple. As you can see, connecting each attachment is super easy and takes only seconds, just like with the other multifunction drives. I have to say, the UX01 with its 40-volt drive makes a very high quality and solid impression. I'm excited to see how it performs in practice, so sit back and get ready for the UX01 test. As you can see, attached at the bottom is the large 40-volt battery with 4 amp hours, freshly charged for maximum power and endurance. Furthermore, as shown here, currently installed is the included brush cutter attachment, the EM404MP. Let's see how the tool performs with it. And of course, I'm particularly curious about the maximum power output, which is why, throughout the test, the tool will remain in the 3rd power setting. And off we go to the first test area. As you can see, there's fairly dense weeds on the ground, and in the background, you can spot grass that has grown up to about 1 meter. So I'm very curious to see how the multifunction drive performs with the brush cutter attachment here. So far, no major issues, at least with the lower weeds. Now it's getting interesting as we're moving into the taller grass. As mentioned, the grass is about 100 centimeters tall, and yes, I know that for grass this is high. The standard brush cutter with the line head may not be ideal. Something like a blade attachment would typically work better. Still, I'm interested to see if the tool can handle this or if it will encounter issues. And it looks good. The tall grass doesn't seem to be a problem for the multifunction drive. It reliably and effortlessly cuts through the high grass as though it were only minor weeds. I have to say, I'm already quite impressed with the performance of this multifunction drive. Admittedly, the multifunction drive paired with this attachment isn't exactly lightweight. However, it's no heavier than the 36-volt model with dual 18-volt batteries. Over time though, I would definitely recommend using the shoulder strap. Furthermore, as we previously mentioned, for grass this tall, it's better to switch to a blade attachment, which will make cutting through thick stalks much simpler and more efficient. And as mentioned before, a blade attachment is included in the package and can be easily mounted on the specific attachment. It's definitely recommended when working with thick or numerous stalks. Still, as you can see, even with just the brush cutter attachment, that is the EM404MP with the line head, by the way a double line head, there are no issues cutting through the somewhat thicker stalks. And importantly, if the grass happens to wrap around the line head, which is nearly inevitable with such tall grass, it's no problem either. This multifunction drive also features a reverse gear. Just press the foil button briefly and the trimmer will automatically switch to reverse. The grass usually unwinds on its own, allowing us to resume work at full power. So far, so good. I'd say that's enough for the first test. Let's take a quick look at the results. This small area has been mowed, and the battery level on the 40-volt 4Ah battery still shows 3 out of 4 bars, only 1 bar down for this area, and that's with grass up to about 1 meter high. The results speak for themselves. On to test number 2. Now for the extreme test. Nettles, grass all mixed together, extremely tangled. And of course, for this test, we're starting with a freshly charged 40-volt 4Ah battery, 4 out of 4 bars, 100% ready to go. This will be interesting. Let's see how the multifunction device performs here, again with the brush cutter attachment, the EM404MP on the highest setting, level 3. In this case, as before, I would definitely recommend the blade attachment for the best results, especially since nettles often have thick, tough stalks. But still, we want to see how the multifunction drive handles this extreme test with the brush cutter and line head, the EM404MP. And as you can see, even the thick nettles are mostly no problem for the multifunction drive. It does have to work a bit harder here, even on the highest setting, but the results are still impressive in my opinion. The power of Makita's 40-volt multifunction drive, especially with this brush cutter attachment, is really quite impressive. On the highest level, which is level 3, it delivers a solid 9,700 RPM. Comparing it to the other two multifunction drives, the difference is substantial, particularly when compared to the 18-volt model, which also only uses a single battery. I think the 18-volt model would have given up much sooner here. I can't exactly say how it compares to the 36-volt model, but I believe the 40-volt model is clearly in the lead here. For other power-demanding attachments, like the cultivator attachment, I would definitely recommend this powerful multifunction drive. There's really no other way to put it. This device has absolutely incredible brute force. Personally, I plan to replace my 2 existing multifunction drives with this one, as it uses only a single battery. It's extremely practical and very comfortable to handle and operate. And especially in comparison to the 18-volt model, this one offers significantly more power. I already recorded a comparison video of these 3 multifunction drives where I thoroughly compare and contrast all 3 devices. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. You'll find the video on the info card in the top right corner or on my channel. And that's essentially it for this video. Now, I'm curious, what do you think of this 40-volt multifunction drive? Do you already own a multifunction drive? Let me know in the comments. That wraps it up. If you enjoyed this video, please show your support with a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to this channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any future videos. You can find the latest prices to support my work in the video description below. Thank you very much for your support. Take care.